Curiosity Collide. What's good in the hood, fam? It's Garfield Bright, Dr. Garfield Bright, coming to you for Ep.2 of Curiosity Collide. Yes, y'all. And look, today we got a fun topic, for me at least. We're going to be looking at the days of the week and the origins of their names. And so a little background on what got me even to ponder this is when I was in school, I swear, when I was a youngin' in school, first grade, I guess it was, maybe kindergarten. And you would learn how to read, they teach you how to do phonetic, you sound out the words and all that. And I was going by that, I was good at reading. I could read probably at 5 or 4 years old or something like that, I don't know. But teachers, the educated ones who I respected, because they were the teachers, they would, when we start learning the days of the week, all of a sudden these phonetically minded people would, we would get to Wednesday, which I was looking at as Wednesday. I'm sounding it out, Wednesday. And they tell me I'm wrong, and I'm like, yo, that's how y'all taught me to read, what you mean? And then these people would be talking about Wednesday as if it was W-E-N-S, Wednesday. I'm like, nah, something ain't right. Something ain't right about that. So I always wondered about that, and I resolved to find out what the heck was going on with that when I got older. So now I'm in an adult form, fully grown male, you know what I'm saying? And I did some research on why Wednesday is spelled Wednesday. And when I opened up, the rabbit hole I went down allowed me to see a few things that opened my eyes about the days of the week. And I'm gonna share them with you, because they were kind of trippy to me, the reason behind some of this stuff. But I'm not going to give you Wednesday yet, or Wednesday yet. I'm gonna get to Wednesday, Wednesday, and then you're gonna see why it's named after Wednesday, like why it's actually Wednesday, or why it's spelled Wednesday, rather. So anyway, we're gonna start. We're just gonna jump right into it. We're gonna get into first day of the week. Well, for me, the first day of the work week is Monday. And some of y'all out there can probably start guessing what these words mean, where they come from. So English language wise, we say Monday, but our words come from Latin. So if you look at the Latin equivalent, you got the word lunes. And it doesn't take a Spanish speaker or a person like that to know that this lune part speaks to lunar, which refers back to what? What body in the heavens? You got the moon. You got the moon. So Moon Day is literally Monday. So Monday comes from the planet or the body in the sky called the moon. Moon Day, lunes. So that's Monday. We well versed on that. We got that. Boom. So then keep it moving, and we get to this. And this is kind of irregular too. We just say it because we've been taught it, but it's kind of a weird deal too. Tuesday. This twos part. Like, what's up with that? But before we get into the name, if you speak Spanish or if you're going, because Spanish is totally straight from Latin. So Tuesday in Spanish is martes. And you see the emphasis on that. So the planet governing Tuesday, of course, is Mars. You get Mars, right? Aries, god of war. But the name itself comes from a deity who was a Germanic mythology. And Germanic mythology houses Norse mythology as well. Germanic mythology includes Norse mythology. But this is a cat named Chi, like that. Almost like Tim, but you put the W, and it becomes Tuesday. But just like Mars was a fiery kind of disposition, a fiery day, action packed. 2 was known for his courage. 2 was associated with listen, I'll put it right here. 2 was associated with courage. Definitely war. And justice. He was like a chief deity in the Germanic, like the Proto-Germanic that word is Proto-Germanic. And it means like God or deity. That's two. Two is like God or deity. Also, you get the Latin word deus, right? And deus also means God. And if you look at Tuesday, if you take that T away, the pronunciation of Tuesday with the hard T, sometimes if you soften it up, it could be like the T and D is kind of interchangeable when you do etymology, like when you go back. So deus, Tuesday, Tuesday, it's a close, similar. So literally, it means God. And it's not a stretch from the Latin deus to go to the Greek. And guess what that sound would be? Yup. Deus will become Zeus. So in a lot of ways, indirectly, that could be like Zeus Day, but it comes from T, this deity that means courage. And he's known for his warlike tendencies, like turned up. And Tuesday was one of those days for some reason, when you look throughout history that we're gonna start fighting on Tuesday for wars and stuff like that. It was one of those kinds of days. But let's go to another one. Let's go to the one that I've been waiting on. You're gonna write it, because they used to get me back in the day with that Wednesday stuff, when they know good and well this thing right here was Wednesday. That's what that thing right there was. But why is it spelled like that? Well, first of all, let's keep it consistent. If we do the Spanish equivalent to Wednesday, we got Monday, lunes, Tuesday, martes. Wednesday is miércoles. And if you can discern a little bit, you can see within this miércoles, you can see the planet Mercury. For sure. The planet Mercury is in Wednesday. So you see Mercury popping off right there. There's the body that dictates. And Mercury is a planet that rules our mindset. Mindset. And I'll tell you whose name it corresponds to, you'll see why these attributes are important. Mindset, like rational thinking. It's funny because if you look at astrology, when the Mercury retrograde hit, ain't nothing rational. Everything goes haywire. But it's supposed to be associated with rational thinking ability. Right? Think about these qualities. Rational thinking ability. And like clever wit. Clever wit, rational thinking ability deals with mindset, Mercury, miércoles, right? But guess what? Why is this thing spelled so ridiculous like that? How come they couldn't just put the N there and the D when, not even the D, just W-E-N-S, Wednesday, like that? No, it's spelled like that because this word, once again, comes from Norse mythology, which tripped me out, that I learned that our days of the week are primarily rooted in the Germanic Norse mythology, but there's a reason for that too. But think about this, and y'all might be familiar with this person. Has anybody ever heard of this guy? Odin? Well, he's more commonly known as Odin. Now, if you watch Marvel comics and Avengers and all that, Odin is, they call him the All-Father, especially in Norse mythology. And that's why that's Woden's Day. That's where Wednesday comes from. It's literally Woden's Day. Boom. And we already went through Mercury, but Woden's Day. And so all those characteristics that are associated with Mercury, the quick thinking, the cleverness, those are leadership kind of like qualities. Somebody that would be the father, the rational thinking, the one that holds it down has to be kind of like in a stable, rational mindset, right? Making the decisions as the leader, as the king. Woden. So Woden's Day is Wednesday. They could have just told me that and saved me all these years of trying to figure it out. But that's Wednesday. Woden's Day. Well, if you're gonna have Woden for Wednesday, well, I wonder if y'all can guess what Thursday represents. Because that's a weird thing right there. You know, like when you think about thurs, you know, if it was thirst, it would be THI, the way we usually deal with that sound, that phonetic sound. It's usually THI, like third, thirst. But why is this U there? That's a telltale sound right there. Well, let's get to the planet. We got Lunes, Martes, Miércoles, Jueves, right? As the ruling planet body. So what planet corresponds to the J? You got Jupiter. The planet Jupiter. And these planets are important because I'm gonna give you an explanation at the end as to why the Norse mythology kind of predominates the days of the week. But right now, Thursday comes from the planet Jupiter corresponds to Thursday. It rules Thursday. And it represents, let's see, you're looking at abundance. Thursday represents abundance, prosperity. Though we live prosperous. Boom. With prosperity. What about let's see, expansion. Lonnie, this is Smith. Cosmic expansion. Cops could be rescued, claimed, and held like hostage. So Jupiter, the attributes of Jupiter. So abundance, prosperity, being prosperous, expansion, right? So anyway, we're gonna go to the actual name that this name represents. Now remember, Wednesday, Wednesday was related to Woden, or Odin. Well, if you got the father, you gotta have the son. Thursday corresponds to Thor. Thursday is literally Thor's day. You got Woden's day, now we got Thor's day. But we're not finished. We're not done yet. It's not a wrap yet. Thor rules Thursday, that's his day. Does he represent those attributes of expansion and those types of things, prosperity and all that kind of stuff? I know he's hard to kill. Thor is. He got that big hammer. Put that hammer on you. But let's go to Friday. Now, besides that being one of the dopest movies of all time, what planet do we think corresponds to Friday? So Friday in Spanish is Viernes. Viernes. Ooh, did y'all hear my stomach growling? Viernes. All right. So what can you discern from this Viernes with this big V sitting up there? Yes, I said it must be Venus. Venus. And who was Venus? That's the Roman goddess of love and beauty. Beauty is her name. Shouts out to my guys, Drew Hill. Nokia. Beauty. That's the Roman. Boom. Y'all might be used to the Greek joint. Who is that? Who is the equivalent to Venus? Aphrodite. Piece of the homie Afro out there. Boom, boom, boom. So that's what Venus is right there. But the real person, because it's the ruling body, it's the planet, even though she was a goddess of love, that's the planetary body that corresponds to Friday, Venus. But guess what? Let's go a step further. Let's check it out. Y'all might not ever have thought of this, but we got Woden's Day, which is Wednesday. We got Thor's Day, which is Thursday. And look, you can't just be sitting up there naming names and leave a woman out. Come on now. Friday. It's a woman named, it's a Norse mythological figure, deity, named Frig. Who is Frig? And some people think it's Freya or Frisia. They kind of conflate these two a lot, but it's not this one. It's this one right here. And who is this woman right here? That's, first of all, if Odin is the king of Asgard in Norse mythology, Frigg is the queen, which means that she indeed is Thor's mama, and she's also Odin's wife. Friday is named after Frig. That's Frig's day, right? That's her day. And what is like it corresponds to Venus, so the goddess of love. It only makes sense and beauty that would be a woman represented on that day. And she's also the goddess of Frig is a goddess of motherhood. She's mother to a powerful is that how you spell goddess with 2 D's? I think it is. Goddess of motherhood. She's mother to the powerful Zeus and a couple other people. The real handsome dude, I can't ever think of his name. I can't think of his name, but she's mom to a couple of people that are really, really like prominent in the Norse mythological pantheon. But goddess of motherhood and love and marriage. But she is both a wife and a mother. Wife to Odin. Don't get no better than that, right? In terms of the levels. And then she's mother to at least Thor. I don't know if she's Loki's mom. I think Loki is like Thor's half. I don't know how that worked out. But definitely Thor. So she's the queen of Asgard. Frig, that's Friday. She's the wife. Let's put it up here. Wife of Odin. Or Woden for Wednesday. So that's how that breaks down. Yeah. Word up. So who would have known? Boom, boom, boom. All right, let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next day of the week. A lot of people's favorite day is coming up next. People turn up and party. They do it on Friday too. But Saturday, it's kind of officially that day where you know it's going down. So Saturday, Sábado, Spanish. Now, Sábado doesn't correspond to a name of a heavenly body. It literally means, the Sabbath. So it's the day of worship. Right now, we go to church on Sundays, right? That's a different Sabbath day, So there's always been a historical dispute on what the real Sabbath should be. But at this point in time, when these days of the week were introduced, Saturday became Sábado in the Latin thing. That's the day they demarcate for it. But guess what else you see in the first few letters of this word before you get to the word day? They drop the letter. But what planet is that right there? You can see it. That's Saturn. That's Saturn day right there. Saturday is from the planet Saturn. Right? It's almost like Saturn worship. And what does Saturn correspond to? Commitment. Right? Maybe that's why it's a Sabbath. You commit to that holy day. Responsibility. Responsibility. All right. Triple. Yeah. Civility. Woo. Responsibility. But it's also like a discipline kind of day. So it's a day of, restriction. Where you practice a little restraint on yourself. Restriction, and then I would dare say delay. You delay your gratification on this day. You devote that day to maybe the higher power, Saturn day, when it was the Sabbath. So all of these attributes refer to Saturn day. A lot of esoteric circles, Saturn corresponds to some not so savory attributes. We're not gonna talk about that today. That's another conversation. But Saturday literally means Saturn day. Let's go to the next and the last day of the week. At least the last day of the weekend. This is the easiest one, if you had to use your common sense. Jump into Sunday. You know what I mean? Domingo. Right? Dom. That's God. That's God's day. That's almost like Sabbath also as well, right? But Sunday, what planetary body rules Sunday? Clearly, it says it right there. There's no mystery. The sun. Yes, indeed. That's the day of the sun. The sun shines bright on Saturday. Now, why were these days named after Norse gods? Well, actually, if you look at the planetary bodies like Jupiter and, Venus and those kinds of things, they initially came, from the Greeks and the Romans. They named them after like giant objects in the sky. They're gods. Like Jupiter was an actual god and stuff like that, even though we know it as a planet and stuff like that. But what happened was the Anglo-Saxons invaded Britain hundreds of years ago. And so the Anglo-Saxons, they're Germanic. They're a Germanic tribe. They're not Norsemen. They're not Vikings per se. But the Germanic aspect of the game houses like Norse and the Anglo-Saxons. The difference being that the Anglo-Saxons primarily concentrated on Britain as their focus. And so they took over Britain. So their progeny comes down the line, through Britain. That was their, coming from the Germanic tribes. They came and invaded Britain and left their fingerprint on Britain. So they still retain some of the Germanic beliefs. They saw that the Roman predecessors, who Brittany was kind of coming from to begin with, did those days of the week. They liked that concept. They kept that concept, but instead of keeping, like Venus and Jupiter as the primary days of the week, the reasons behind it, they switched the names to a person corresponding. Like Venus was the goddess of love and all that stuff, which we know was Friday. They said, oh, the goddess of love, oh, that's gotta be Odin's wife. Let's put Frig right there. That's Friday. That's our goddess of love. You know what I mean? So it worked out like that. So now we have those Norse, underpinnings too, in terms of like where it came from, 5 days of the week. The difference between the Anglo-Saxons and the Norse or Vikings was that the Anglo-Saxons, like I said, concentrated on Britain, and the Vikings, even though both of them are Germanic, the Vikings or the Norsemen invaded everybody. They was all over the place. But there's some interesting stuff about them too that I could get into, like their place, and this is a trick. This might be a testament to like Islam. I never looked at it like that. But like Valhalla, there's different ways you can kind of spell it. Some people just put an E at the end. But when I look at that backwards, if I'm going this direction, and you rewrite the left in Islam, I see Allah. But I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna even go there. But that's the difference between those two in terms of why there's a slight difference. Why the Norse thing came from the land of England, the Brits, with our days of the week being, Norse mythology. That's how it got to be like that. But one more thing I want to add, real quick, is that I read this book by Dr. Lila Africa called African Holistic Health. And this is just a little tidbit as I leave you. Dr. Lila Africa. Hope I'm spelling this right. You might have more than one K in his name. But Dr. Lila Africa, right? African Holistic Health. He has, like color and sound. I'm a musician, so color and sounds that correspond to different, which are frequencies corresponding to different days of the week. And I kind of like, just give myself a consistent, something to kind of lean on, a stability in my spiritual patterns in my day. I try to correspond my color patterns to Dr. Laila's color chart. And, he said certain colors resonate more abundantly on certain days. And so like Monday, the color blue resonates. So I always try to like be conscious of blue, even if I can't wear it. I try to put that in my thing. You might want to use it, maybe not. Tuesday, and it's weird because, not weird, but it's ironic, but Tuesday is Mars, the planet Mars, and the color for that day is red, because Mars is the red planet. Dr. Lila Africa. Wednesday, Odin's Day, Wednesday, to wrap up, it's yellow, which is today. I'm filming this on a Wednesday. I got a yellow shirt on. All right. And then Thursday, right? Is purple. Friday. Now, I don't be walking around with no purple on them, but I do meditate on with the color in my mind and stuff like that. Friday, it's green. Color of money, color of land. Color of peace, man. Saturday, indigo. It's a beautiful color. And then Sunday, of course, what's the color of the sun? Well, it used to be up there. Orange. And those are the colors that Dr. Lila Africa suggested for those days of the week. And I use those colors just to keep a little balance and consistency, keep a pattern going in my, if you instantiate your own patterns, you don't have to fall prey to the patterns that are already out there. So hopefully you like my curiosity collage of the days of the week. And I finally figured out what Wednesday is not pronounced Wednesday anymore, where that spelling came from. That's Woden's Day. So anyway, hope you got a little something out of this. Your kids can even watch this, so they won't be growing up wondering why all these smart people mispronouncing that word when they trying to say it phonetically. And we talking about Wednesday, and they say, "Oh, that's Wednesday." They'll know why early on. They don't gotta wait till they 55 years old to figure it out. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all. I leave y'all as I came in peace, and stay tuned for Curiosity Collage Ep.2 coming next week.